Right, 1 second. Something just come to mind, which is a very interesting point. I've done videos recently where I've talked about the fact that when you live in a corner kingdom, yeah, and you're a couple, don't forget the physical side of your relationship. Don't forget to focus on it. And Smiley Riley, my handsome boy, or little Smiley. He's a good boy, Smiley Riley. He is. So that's Lucy and Chewie's baby. Little Smiley Riley. Anyway, but the reason for that is because I've explained before that more often sin is caused by lack and trying to provide for lack. That when you start focusing upon lack, you start to try and find ways to deal with that lack, to get rid of it. So if you're in a relationship, even if you're functioning with regards to God, if you've got one person in that relationship, or even two, certainly one, that values the physical, intimate side, the love making, that sort of thing. But that, not that sort of thing, but that. And the other person doesn't. The other person thinks, no, we're beyond that now because we're living according to kingdom. We don't need that. The person who values it, the person who desires it, is going to try and find other ways of providing for that. Self-pleasuring may be one thing they try. But the problem is, the thing with self-pleasuring that can be a problem is that you need a degree of fantasy to be involved in that. So whether you use pornography or whether you use your mind, you normally try and picture yourself in a situation with somebody who you find attractive, but someone who finds you attractive, someone who's going to want to do all the things that you want done, someone you can do all the things you want to do to show them that you love them. It's okay if you're only self-pleasuring, yeah? Nah. The problem is not when it involves fantasy, because you're in that situation now where, put it this way, if you're using pornography, if you're looking at the image of someone who is married, now you don't know they're married, but they could very well be married. If they are married, you just committed adultery. With the fact you're married, you've already committed adultery, but even if that person isn't married, just because you've invited that person into your life, into your sexual fantasies. You've invited that person sexually into your mind. Your mind belongs to who? Don't worry about it belonging to God for a second. All of you belongs to your husband, wife. All of them belongs to you. So your mind belongs to your husband, wife. That's part of the one. You've now brought this other person, this male or female, into that one. You've committed adultery already. You've okayed that, yes? So let's say an opportunity comes up at some point in time where you can actually commit adultery with someone. Are you going to? You've already broken down the barriers, haven't you? All those things that told you shouldn't be doing that, all those things that told you, you don't want to be doing that sort of thing, you don't really want to bring that into the marriage, you've already said, I'm bringing it in. I'm bringing it in as a fantasy, as a way of dealing with that lack. So if you've already knocked down a load of walls by doing that, there aren't many walls left to knock down, are there? From doing it from fantasy to doing it in reality. You do that, and now your relationship is in real trouble. Certainly if you belong to a church, because most members of that church are going to tell your partner to leave you. At least on a temporary basis. They're not going to look at the fact that your partner was being super spiritual and was ignoring you in that way. They won't care about that. You'll be the one blamed for it. Your partner's going to blame you for it. You'll be blaming you for it because everyone else is going to be blaming you for it. The thing of it is, God's going to soon tell that person who was denying that stuff on the relationship that it was actually down to you. Had you not have been denying that, there would have been no lack. That's the reality. In your marriage, you've got to make sure that you don't give any room for lack to come in any way, shape or form. You don't give room for lack to come in. That's why you've got to encourage your husband or wife to spend time with God. Yet they're spending time with God and not spending time with you. I know, and that's going to be sometimes a bit annoying. Sometimes they're going to be spending way too much time with God, and God's trying to tell them, yeah, excuse me, you spent enough time with me this week, go and spend time with your husband and wife. They're over there, they're encouraging you to spend time with me for your sake, but you are taking the mickey right now. God is telling them that, but they're not listening. There's a risk that can happen. But you've got to push them to that because they've got to be focused on the solution, not the problem. They've got to be focused on the solution, led by the Spirit, so hopefully they can listen. They can learn to listen, and the Holy Spirit can tell them to focus on all areas of their relationship. Generally speaking, is the Holy Spirit likely to tell you, to go and make love to your wife? Probably not. No. I don't imagine that probably is a conversation that God is going to have with you. It will probably be, as I say, more along the lines of the Holy Spirit saying, you need to take care of all areas of your relationship. Now, I did the videos recently about, and speaking of Gareth last night, about something that is a very important point. What I've said before. Look, someone could say, and rightly or wrongly, wrongly I think, but maybe rightly, that if God puts me with a vehicle and that relationship starts, that I would have a fear of losing her because I've suffered rejection from my life. That I'll have a fear of her eventually rejecting me, right? So wanting to leave. So therefore I'll start manifesting things that's going to make her leave, basically. Well, that's what I said early on. If, as a couple, you give that marriage to God, it doesn't belong to you. It's not in your hands. You can't lose it. If you understand that, you don't start worrying about the other person leaving you, walking away, realizing that you're not quite what they want, and maybe they should be with someone better looking or whatever, younger, whatever. Someone that isn't you, basically. They may very well have those thoughts, but if they do, then it's up to God to deal with it. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to try and find a solution. It's up to God to do with it. It's up to you to focus on the fact that, well, God put you two together. The relationship is in His hands, so, okay, Lord, you deal with it. Well, because when I was speaking to Gareth, he was saying that he's been with women in the past and he was always afraid that they were going to leave him. And eventually they did. I said, yeah. I said, because you were trying to push them away eventually. You were trying to manifest it because you were so afraid they'd leave you. You were starting to behave in a way that was pushing them away from you. Yeah, and you kept on doing the same thing because you were afraid they're going to walk out anyway. Just leave me. Yeah, if you're going to leave me, just leave. The more you keep on saying it to someone, the more eventually they're just going to leave. They're just going to walk away. They're just going to say, okay, I'm off. You want to be like this? I'm gone. And then that backs up your whole point, doesn't it really? Oh, they were going to leave anyway. They haven't done me. They were planning to leave anyway. I just quickened it up a bit. And that probably was never going to be the case. But that's why, as a Christian couple, give that relationship to God. Let Him have it. Right? Let Him have that relationship. It's His. Right? You both belong to Him. So therefore the relationship belongs to Him. Let Him have it. Let Him deal with it. Let Him help you to deal with the issues by bringing them up to you. Right? But yeah, make sure, with God guiding you and leading you, that there's no lack. Don't give room to that sort of stuff. Yeah? Not in any way, shape or form. I say that's why things you don't want to give room for the devil to get in any way, shape or form. That's what I said about training. That's why for me, if I can, train to a degree where I can lift and walk with a weight that's far heavier than she is, it means that the idea of her being fat shouldn't cross her mind at all. In any way, shape or form. The devil can't get in there where that's concerned. I mean, she isn't. But the point of it is the devil can't get in there and start playing on her mind about that. Yeah, because I'm carrying her in and I'm going, oh, Jesus. And I pick her up. Yeah, that's not good. That's really bad. That can open a door to, the little demons coming in saying, oh, you should have lost weight before this. You do know you're carrying quite a few extra pounds. No, as I say, I've got a responsibility to her. Yeah, she's got one to me as well. Yeah, we've got a responsibility to each other to do what we can to close the door to the devil bringing anything in. As soon as we see there might be a little bit of a jar at the door where the devil could creep in, shut it. Cover that situation straight away. That is not going to happen. I am not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to do what I can to make sure it doesn't. Definitely. Yeah. No, it's God's will for me to love this woman, but then it's up to me to be loving. It's up to me to then love her. God may put that love on me, but it's up to me to then, with His guidance, put that into something practical. Something that shows her that I love her, rather than just, How useful is it going to be if I just tell her all the time that I love you, but I don't show it? Any use? Is that going to help her in any way, shape or form? Is she going to feel blessed by that? No. Anyway, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.